everybody. Get your engines fired up. It's time for Lights Out, Let's Chat.
Welcome back to Lights Out, Let's Chat. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new, hey, I'm Michaela, and today we're getting a full but fun history lesson about the teams in Formula One, plus the drivers you will need to know for the 2026 season. Don't panic, this is not school. There'll be no pop quizzes. There'll be laughs, dramatic storytelling, and probably a moment where you go, wait, that driver is racing where? So, buckle up. We're about to take a joyride through iconic teams, chaotic teams, and even some new faces you'll hear all season long. Before we start, let's talk about why teams matter so much. In F1, people don't just pick a team. They bind their soul to it. It becomes their personality, their mood, their entire emotional state. Teams in F1 aren't just logos. They're legacies, their history, their heartbreak, triumph, drama, and sometimes comedy. Drivers switch team, but the team, that's the constant. That's the storyline. So understanding teams and who's driving for them in 2026 makes watching races so much more immersive. Okay, let's start with the teams. We're starting with Ferrari because, duh, Ferrari is the Beyoncé of Formula One. You don't put them second on a list. They've been racing since the 1950s and have had icons like Schumacher and Vettel. Their logo is a prancing horse. Their color is red. Their fans are emotional warriors who deserve free therapy and a lifetime spa voucher. Their driver lineup for 2026 is Charles Leclerc, the Ferrari favorite who loves a dramatic qualifying session, and Lewis Hamilton, a legend in the sport and a major storyline in red. When Ferrari gets it right, it hits different. Next up, we have my personal favorite, McLaren, the British kings of orange and heritage. They've had Senna, Prost, Hamilton, names that are basically F1 royalty. Now, they're in a young, fun era with papaya-colored cars and Team TikTok energy. Their drivers, Lando Norris, sunny vibe speedster, and Oscar Piastri, quiet but lethal talent. McLaren gives legacy, but make it Gen Z. Love that for them. Okay, if Ferrari is Beyoncé, Mercedes is Rihanna. Powerhouse, untouchable, just casually breaking records. They dominated the hybrid era for years and brought us legends. Their driver lineup is George Russell, focused, smooth, smart. Kimi Antonelli, young prodigy ready to shine. Mercedes' energy is, we are excellence. Now, we have Red Bull Racing. Red Bull said, we drink energy drinks. Let's build a race team. And then they won championships like it was no big deal. They're bold, dramatic, ruthlessly fast. They spice up every weekend. Their driver lineup is Max Verstappen, a 4-time world champ, and Isaac Hadjar, promoted from the junior ranks with serious potential. Red Bull makes F1 spicy each year. Now we have Aston Martin. These guys are the kings of rebranding. From Jordan to Force India to Racing Point, and now Aston Martin. It's like they're trying on personalities like their shoes. Their drivers are Fernando Alonso, the oldest driver on the grid, and Lance Stroll, somewhat smooth and somewhat thoughtful. Aston Martin's vibe, luxury with chaotic ambition. Next we have Williams. Williams is the comfort team, history, heart, and that we've been through things energy everyone roots for. Their driver lineup, Alex Albon, community favorite with vibes for days, and Carlos Sainz, veteran energy meets underdog fire. Their vibe this season is we're here and we're hungry. Now we have Alpine, the French team with emotional board meeting energy, Sometimes they're celebrating, sometimes they're reorganizing, and sometimes they remind us why we love racing. Their drivers, Pierre Gasly, style plus speed, and Franco Colapinto, improving and making noise. Alpine keeps things interesting when you least expect it. Now we have our underdogs. We're going to start with Haas, the American team with reality show energy. If drama was a currency, Haas would be a billionaire. Their driver lineup is Esteban Ocon, experienced and steady, and of course, Ollie Bearman, young and hungry. Their vibe? We're unpredictable, but also fun. Now we have Racing Bulls, Red Bull's younger sister. They're chaotic, fresh, and full of personality. Their drivers? Liam Lawson, reliable and energetic. And a new face, Ivan Lindblad, a rookie making waves. This duo is one to watch. They're exciting and young. Now we have Sabre, also known as Audi. Sabre has transformed into the Audi F1 team. New name, same Swiss precision with German power. Their drivers? Nico Hülkenberg, experienced and wise, and Gabriel Boletto, rising young talent. Audi's step into F1 is one of the big stories of 2026. Now, we have a new team joining the grid. We're welcoming Cadillac. It's giving legendary vibes. Their drivers, Sergio Perez, veteran with big race experience, and Valtteri Bottas, seasoned pro ready to help build something great. This pairing is all about leadership and setting a foundation for the future. Once you understand not just the teams, but who's driving for them in 2026, every overtake, every strategy call, and every podium feels deeper. It's no longer just cars going fast. It's rivalries, personal journeys, rising stars, veteran pride, unexpected drama. Suddenly, a podium isn't just a podium. It's emotional. A bad pit stop feels tragic. And an overtake, legendary. Now that we've talked about teams and the driver lineup, let's take a deep dive into the drivers heading into the 2026 season. Because this grid is such a mix of legends, chaos, and, oh wow, you're still here? And that's not shade. That's F1. First of all, we are still very much living in the era of Max Verstappen. Whether you like him or aggressively root against him, like I do, he sets the standards for what modern dominance looks like. Max drives like every race is personal, and honestly, it kind of is. Then there's Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, literal history maker. Lewis is proof that longevity in this sport is just as impressive as raw speed. Every season he races now is a legacy building, and that alone makes him a must-watch. Now, let's talk about the drivers who are helping shape the future of Formula One. Charles Leclerc is still one of the most natural, gifted drivers on the grid. Smooth, emotional, and deeply tied to Ferrari. When he wins, it feels like a moment. Now we have Lando Norris. He is a fan favorite, as well as my personal favorite for a reason. He grew up in this sport, and now he's not just funny or relatable. He's fast, confident, and fully in the title conversation. Plus, he's not afraid to speak on mental health. Next, we have George Russell. George Russell represents that polished, calculated, next-generation champion energy. He's calm, composed, and always thinking 3 corners ahead. Then you have the drivers who don't always scream for attention, but you ignore them at your own risk. Starting with Oscar Piastri, he is one of the calmest drivers I've ever seen, and that makes him terrifying. He doesn't panic, and he doesn't overreact. He just delivers. And Carlos Sainz is smart, strategic, and always maximizing what the car gives him. And of course, we have a driver who refuses to age out of this sport. His name is Fernando Alonso. Yes, Fernando Alonso is still here. He's still competitive, still causing chaos. The man has raced multiple generations of drivers and somehow remains relevant, which is honestly iconic. This veteran brings experience, racecraft, and zero fear of speaking his mind. Okay, now that we've talked about the not-so-new generation, we're going to talk about some names you're going to keep hearing as we head into the 2026 era. These are the drivers that fans, teams, and Twitter analysis have been yelling about, and for a good reason. Let's start strong. Kimi Antonelli. This kid has been called the future since what feels like birth. He's calm, ridiculously fast, and has that scary, quiet confidence that usually means, yeah, he's going to be a problem. Kimi isn't flashy for attention. He just shows up, delivers, and makes it look easy. That's the kind of driver teams build long-term plans around. Isaac Hadjar is fire. He's aggressive, emotional, and not afraid to fight for every inch of the track. You don't watch him expecting a boring race. You watch him expecting chaos in the best way. When Hadjar's in the mix, things happen. And honestly, F1 needs drivers just like that. Now we have Franco Colapinto. He's smooth, smart. He's not loud, not reckless, just very calculated. He's the kind of driver who quietly stacks results and then wait, how is he always there? Those are the dangerous drivers. Now, Ollie Bearman. Ollie Bearman feels like one of those drivers who's been on everyone's radar forever. And that's because he kind of has. He's adaptable, confident, and already comfortable in high-pressure environments. Bearman gets off, put him anywhere, and he'll figure it out vibes, which teams absolutely love. Liam Larson is not new to the F1 conversation, and that's what makes him interesting. He's already proven he can jump in, handle chaos, and deliver under pressure. No panic, no overthinking, just results. Larson feels like the definition of ready. Not potential, but ready. Ivar Lindblad is one of those names that make people lean forward when they hear it. He's young, but he races with maturity, way beyond his age. Strong racecraft, big confidence, absolutely zero fear of fighting wheel to wheel. He's still early in the story, but the hype isn't random. Gabriel Boletto is a favorite to watch, development-wise. He's intelligent, composed, and very aware of the bigger picture, not just the lap in front of him. Boletto feels like a driver who's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Now, what's going to make 2026 exciting? Well, it isn't just new rules. It's a mix of drivers. You've got champions, future champions, drivers proving they belong, veterans chasing one more moment, and young talent ready to flip the grid upside down. Every race, Michaela, you can pick a team and a driver to partner with. Here's how I'll rank them. Ferrari with Leclerc, emotional support required. McLaren with Norris, smart and funny. Red Bull with Verstappen, insane pressure, insane speed. Audi with Hülkenberg, steady and chill. Williams with Albon, heartfelt adrenaline. Cadillac with Perez, Racing Bulls with Lindblad, rookie chaos. Because if I'm going to drive an F1, it's going to be dramatic. And that's your official tour of F1 history with all the 2026 driver lineups included. The dramatic, the iconic, the chaotic, and the new kids on the block. Now you're ready for race day commentary, memes, and podium debates. Next week, we're going into the FIA, the rules, the power, the controversy, and the moments where all of us collectively said, why would you do that? Anyways, thanks for listening. Drink some water, pick your favorite team and driver responsibly, and I'll see you in the next episode.